Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Father James. I am drinking from my Sydney, Australia beach mug, and I'll explain why in a second. Well, if you're watching this video after it was released, this coming weekend will be the Feast of Christ the King. We are reminded in this feast day that Jesus is the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. And this Sunday represents the last Sunday of the liturgical year. And that means that a week from now will be the first Sunday of Advent, the beginning of a new liturgical year. Yes, the season of Advent, the season, the Sunday when we begin to prepare liturgically for the celebration of Christmas. And I don't know about you, but it seems to me that that's becoming more difficult every single year because some of us are already sick of Christmas songs on the radio, on the shopping mall. I mean, a month or more than a month ago, I saw Christmas decorations going up in stores. They had Christmas items out before Halloween this year. I always wondered if that would ever happen. Well, yeah, we've crossed that line. I mean, next thing you know, it's going to be Christmas before Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving, and will be Christmas decorations in August and July. Who knows? But it seems that the whole experience is driven by marketing. It's kind of like being in a Skinner box, or you have to Google that if you didn't study psychology, or like Pavlov's dog. You can Google that one too. Ring the bell and we will salivate and go to the malls and shop until you drop. And I think it's very difficult for us as people of faith to prepare for Christmas in the midst of this kind of environment. I remember years ago doing an experiment. It was kind of fun, where I had a recording of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and a recording of O Come, Emmanuel. Now, obviously, one is secular, kind of fun, and O Come, Emmanuel, the words of the prophet Isaiah, is a very solemn, beautiful, one of my favorite Advent hymns. And each of these songs evokes a very different emotion. Well, what I did with this group of people is I played the two of them simultaneously. And there was moments where the tones, the keys of the music touched each other, and other moments where they clashed and there was dissonance. And so just musically, it was dissonant, it clashed, and the words really clashed. They pulled people in two different directions. And that's what it's like. It's like, we live in this world as believers. We're trying to live the liturgical rhythm, because liturgy shouldn't just be what we do here on Sunday mornings. It's not just about the color of the cloth or what's hanging on the walls. Liturgy, as our lives are to be lived as a great act of worship. Liturgy should impact us 7 days a week. And so the Advent season is a season of spiritual preparation for the celebration of Christmas. But for the world in which we live, we start that months before Christmas. And also, by December 26th, we just throw everything out. We're done. We're so sick of it. Whereas we celebrate Christmas all the way through until the Feast of the Epiphany. So it's a how do we try to be faithful to that while we're in this world? It's like listening to those two pieces of music at the same time. Well, I'm still working on the answer to that question myself. I haven't figured it out. But I do know this, that it requires pushing back against the dominant force of culture, which means don't just go with the flow. Yes, of course, we can't all be like me, leaving your Christmas shopping till 2 days before Christmas. I get it. You wouldn't want to do that. We need to prepare. There's so many wonderful things about the season of early December and the gatherings as we prepare for Christmas. So we have to live in both worlds. I get that. But as we look forward to the end of the liturgical year and the beginning of Advent, let me ask you this question. How will Advent be different? How will you push back against the dominant culture, against the song of Rudolph. Listen instead to the song of Isaiah. Perhaps it begins by at least doing both. So I want to encourage you to put a little pushback so that we can live a part of what it means to be in Advent. Now, I said at the beginning that I explained my coffee mug to you. The truth is, as I looked at all my coffee mugs and I thought, what could I use? Well, I thought of the changing liturgical seasons, and then I was reminded of the fact that in Australia, it's the start of summer. They're heading to the beach. Those lucky blokes. And, well, here's to the Aussies, if any are watching. Can you imagine how difficult it must be to live Advent in Australia? Not only do you have to deal with Rudolph, but you're going to the beach. Anyway, I digress. God bless everyone. Take care.